See, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Yajna Dana Tapasyaiva Pavanani Manishinam. Generally, when people think Yajna, when you say, it means you have a Vedic sacrificial fire and you offer some ghee and silk and rains and that's what is Yajna. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, actually Yajna is Yajna by Vishnu, which means that which is pleasing to Lord is called Yajna, which is especially done. You can see how much bhoga is overflowing in that basket. So people have given happily for the pleasure of the Lord, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, everything they have brought and given. So when people with a big heart offer many offerings to Lord, just like the Falwali, the fruit vendor lady was giving so many fruits, isn't it? When I saw this, I was remembering in the morning that this is how she must have given with a big heart, overflowing offerings. They have one basket and it's overflowing beyond a basket, which is very good. At the same time, the Lord also says, along with the yajna, we also give dana. Dana is actually given in charity to the Brahmins who are performing the puja, shraddha, all those things at home, isn't it? So the charity is given for yajan, patan, patan, dana, pratigraha, which means yajan means to how to do yajna and how to teach people to do yajna, and bhajan, yajan, patan, study shastra, teach shastra, and dan, pratigraha. The Brahman accepts the charity and then additional charity he gives it away to others. And third is called tapas. The tapasya means, in the path of bhakti yoga, what is the tapasya in the path of bhakti yoga? Some days we perform upavas, you know that? On Ekadashi days from grains, on festival days till fasting till noon or fasting till dusk, or on Janmashtami day fasting till midnight, isn't it? That is a tapasya. Another tapasya is to sleep early and rise early in the morning and come to the temple hall. Now there are many people willing to give, yajna for offerings to the Lord. People are ready to give dana also for Bhagavatam sponsorship. And one of the reasons for this is, it may not be very difficult or it may not pinch them to buy some fruit and give like this. Giving fruit may be very easy. And it may not be very difficult for people to sponsor 2 or 4 Bhagavatam sets also, especially in a country where you get abundant wealth. But what may be difficult for most people is the tapas, where it makes a pinch for you that you have to wake up early in the morning in a cold, freezing winter and you come to the temple of the Lord. So when we do Yajna Tapa, we should not do what comes very easily. We should do what comes very difficult. That is a sign of love for the Lord. For example, one of the brahmachari dharma is, he goes to the homes of grihasthas and accepts prasadam. That's one of the dharma. If brahmachari says, every day I will go to different homes and eat prasad and grow a big belly, that is not a very big austerity, isn't it? Prabhupada says, although it is duty of grihasthas to invite brahmacharis for prasad, it is not the duty of brahmacharis to every day accept prasad like that. Then it will become a vishayi, sense gratifier. Although sometimes brahmacharis may go for accepting prasad. So one should know, the tapasya means there has to be some voluntary acceptance of pain for the pleasure of the Lord. Therefore, one of our goals is in this Baltimore temple someday to fill up this temple hall in the morning so much that some people should be standing outside the door. We want to see a day where so many grihasthas, so many boys, so many brahmacharis will be flooding this temple. There should be no place. There will be gardi hona chahiye. There should be so much gardi. Hey, go inside, there is no place outside, it's very cold. So, here Radha Madhava is so beautiful, standing here in Baltimore temple and giving darshan to the whole creation. He is the Lord of millions of universes. And such a Lord, when he is waking up in the morning to come and see who is coming here to take my darshan, there should be millions of people. Of course, there are millions of demigods assembling here. We can't see them with our naked eyes. But in any place where the Lord is worshipped with great love, great welcome, great pomp, with music and instruments and glorification of the holy name, there Lord is instantly present. So in one of the prayers in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Devatas are saying, Na yatra vaikuntha katha sudhapaga, na sadavo bhagavatastada shraya, na yatra yajnesha makha mahotsava, Suresha lokopi navaisa sevyatam kim dushkarair nakratavistapavratayir dhanadivir bhadvijayena falgunam na yatra narayana pada pankajas smriti pramushta atishayandriyotsavat. They are saying, oh my dear Supreme Lord, in the heavenly planets, we are not eager to reside anymore. We want to leave the heavenly planets and go to the earth. Why? Whichever place where the Vaikuntapati or Supreme Lord is not glorified by choice poetry, where he is not celebrated, Utsavams are not celebrated for his pleasure, where Yajna is not performed for his pleasure, where the hearing and chanting of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita doesn't happen, where his holy names are not sung, where the bhaktas don't congregate together, coming together, putting up festivals. So, such a place we don't want to reside in the heaven. And somebody may ask, heavenly people are all pious people, why they are not doing it? They are saying, Smriti Pramushta Atishaya Indriya Utsavat. They are saying, our Smriti has become, our remembrance of Lord has become spoiled because of excessive sense gratification. He says, so when there is too much money, when there is too much Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribir, high birth, beauty, opulence, wealth, fame, all these things are there with a person, then Smriti Pramushta Atishay Indriya Utsava, they are saying. So, na yatra Narayana pada pankaja, we are not able to remember the lotus feet of Lord Narayana in heaven. Please help us to go to earth where people are now in this Kali Yuga chanting the holy name, dancing to the holy name and reading the Bhagavatam and celebrating festivals for the Lord. So, Devatas aspire to come to earth in this particular Yuga. So, that means we can understand we are getting what even Devatas are hankering for. And that is awarded to us by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, through his books, through his movement, through his teachings. Only thing is, Prabhupada has given the books, lectures, sanstha and facility, everything is ready made on a plate. We have to just accept it, that's all. So, and the topmost of it all is the chanting of the holy name. If chanting is done attentively, helplessly, inoffensively, the chanting will arise the greed for more and more chanting, more and more glorification of the Lord. You will find anybody who is a sincere chanter will never chase after the mirage of illusion in this world. He will never just chase after the money, chase after women, chase after fame and name in this world, because these all are like Mrigatrishna, they will vanish in the oblivion. Whereas anyone, a pure chanter, his greed for Supreme Lord will increase more and more, because that greed is glorified in the Shastra. Mundane greed is criticized. So the ISKCON Sanstha was started by Srila Prabhupada in order to instill that transcendental greed in the heart of all the living entities. And that greed, irrespective of your age, you become 70, you become 80, you become 100, that greed will go on increasing. Because the soul feels transcendently mad in the Supreme Lord's presence and Supreme Lord's glorification. And there it is endless bhakti, that's why called as Susukam Kartum Avyayam. It's imperishable path, it is joyfully performed, and there is no, it's called as endless love. That endless love, when one experiences, one has no more worry, no more miseries in this world. But unfortunately, although this knowledge is there in Prabhupada's books, in order for this knowledge to be instilled in the hearts of the jivas, there is a great preaching that is required. Prabhupada's great Acharya rang the bell and started the movement and got it floating, spreading all over the world. He has done his part, so we have to do our part by preaching and bringing people to his lotus feet and making this movement benefit as many people as possible. America is a country where people live in affluence, of good facility of home and accommodations and broad roads and tall towers and decent jobs paying good amounts. Materially it's affluent, but you have to make it spiritually affluent. Like Prabhupada did in his times. During the brief period of 12 years, he did a magic. So we have to re-bring that magic again by our faithful adherence to his good instructions. Srila Prabhupada ki, Harinam Prabhu ki.